Mastering SOC 2 for manufacturers. Our organization will hunt down and shield its most vulnerable secrets to survive the SOC 2 audit. Which steps will our organization take to identify and appropriately classify sensitive data and systems that fall within the scope of our SOC 2 examination, in order to ensure that they are properly protected and addressed throughout the audit process? To identify and appropriately classify sensitive data and systems that fall within the scope of our SOC 2 examination, our organization will take the following steps. Firstly, we will establish a cross-functional team comprising of representatives from various departments such as IT, operations, finance, and compliance. This team will be responsible for identifying and classifying sensitive data and systems across the organization. Next, we will conduct a thorough inventory of all data and systems used within the organization, including hardware, software, and infrastructure components. This inventory will include a detailed description of each data element and system, including its purpose, location, and ownership. Once the inventory is complete, we will assess each data element and system to determine its sensitivity level. This assessment will be based on factors such as the potential impact of unauthorized access, use, disclosure, modification, or destruction of the data or system, the nature and scope of the data or system, and any relevant regulatory or compliance requirements. We will use a risk-based approach to classify sensitive data and systems into 3 categories. High risk data or systems that require the highest level of protection due to their high sensitivity and potential impact on the organization. Medium risk data or systems that require a moderate level of protection due to their moderate sensitivity and potential impact. Low risk data or systems that require minimal protection due to their low sensitivity and minimal potential impact. For each data element and system classified as high risk or medium risk, we will conduct a threat and vulnerability assessment to identify potential risks and vulnerabilities that could compromise the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of the data or system. This assessment will include a review of existing controls and procedures to determine their effectiveness in mitigating identified risks and vulnerabilities. Based on the results of the threat and vulnerability assessment, we will develop and implement additional controls and procedures to address identified risks and vulnerabilities. These controls and procedures may include encryption, access controls, logging and monitoring, incident response, and backup and recovery procedures. We will also establish a data classification policy that outlines the rules and guidelines for handling sensitive data and systems. This policy will include procedures for marking and labeling sensitive data and systems, as well as guidelines for storing, transmitting, and disposing of sensitive data and systems. To ensure that sensitive data and systems are properly protected throughout the audit process, we will conduct regular security audits and vulnerability assessments to identify and address potential risks and vulnerabilities. Conduct training and awareness programs for employees to educate them on the importance of protecting sensitive data and systems. Implement an incident response plan to respond quickly and effectively in the event of a security incident. Continuously monitor and review our controls and procedures to ensure they remain effective and up to date. Finally, we will document all steps taken to identify and classify sensitive data and systems, including the results of our threat and vulnerability assessments, the controls and procedures implemented, and the findings and recommendations from our security audits and vulnerability assessments. This documentation will be maintained and updated regularly to ensure that it remains accurate and complete, and will be made available to our auditors as part of the SOC 2 examination process.